Cards. Stephen Gray and Steve Weisfeld both have it 118 to 110. Ian Scott scores it 119 to 109. All three judges scored for the winner by unanimous decision. The fighting pride of the United Kingdom, AJ Anthony Joshua.
Let me do this.
What appeared to be a closely contested 12-round fight. Certainly not close on the scorecards here tonight, guys. As Anthony drops.
Y'all can't hear it. I can't. We're waiting for the post-fight interview. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. We're getting back on the saddle. Okay, it's like this, right? People are going to say it was a shitty fight. In my personal opinion, it was a chess match. You know, they were talking about it in the 11th round, the American commentators, Mauro Ranallo, Al Bernstein, and Paulie Malignaggi. It was a high-level boxing match, and the jab and forward momentum was key, right? There was no way Joseph Parker was going to win fighting on the back foot, defensively minded counterpunching in the UK. Now, in my opinion, Anthony Joshua won the fight from the aggression. It wasn't exactly effective aggression. The jab wasn't really getting there, but he kept pumping it. He kept moving forward. Where you had Joe Parker, he was playing the counter-puncher, mover, defensive fighter. And even though that's an excellent skill for him to have, he wasn't aggressive enough, but also it showed that he has so many other dimensions to his game. Unfortunately, a rematch will not happen anytime soon, maybe not ever. And when I say anytime soon, I mean within the next 2 years. You know? Because here's what the cards are. What is it? 118, 110, 119, 109. And Steve Weisfeld, 118, 110. Steve Farhood, 117, 112. I mean, it's just, you know, like Joseph Parker lost the fight. But what we're here to talk about is, by the way, let me introduce you to myself. I'm TstreeT Controversy. I cover every single major fight live. I've been, you know, almost died. This whole long story. I'm not talking about in this video. So we're getting back on the saddle. What I do is I talk about the political shit and how fights can and cannot be made, what promoters don't work with this promoter, and basically the business stuff. I tell people all the time I don't gamble. And sometimes, you know, we're not going to always agree. There's going to be some videos you're going to be like, all right, he know what he's talking about. There's going to be other videos where you're going to be like, man, this motherfucker's a dickhead. He always saying some dumbass shit. I'm human, right? So even though I may talk about all the political shit, you know, even though I know who's supposed to win, you know, or who the favorite wins or who the favorite is to win, sometimes I go with my heart. Is that a crime? Then jail me right now. You know, for example, with Chavez versus Canelo. Oh, wait, we want to listen to the post-fight interview here. I'm waiting for an email back from Sky Sports. I'll explain later.
Tonight. I'm not going to make an analysis of my own performance. That's for my coach to do. But my strategy in there was kind of stick behind the jab. It's one of the most important weapons. The old saying is the right hand can take you around the block, but a good jab will take you around the world. And that secured another world championship belt. So I stuck behind the jab and I made sure anything that was coming back, I was switched on, I was focused. And 12 rounds, baby. I thought it was hard, right?
How did you find the 12-round distance?
Light work. It's light. This is boxing. This is what we do. 10 rounds, 2 rounds, 12 rounds. You know, I know sometimes the bookies have it as he might knock him out in 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, but forget the hype. Joseph Parker is a world champion. So I knew he's going to be determined. So sometimes this does become a boxing match, not a fight. So I made sure. And as I said to you in the previous comments and interviews, this will be about boxing finesse. Joseph Parker stated this will be a war. I stated this will be boxing finesse, and I stuck to my word and I controlled him behind the jab, the counter punches. And the main thing we cannot forget is I am the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I was going to come to it later, but it feels like a good time to do it. Do you want to become
Yeah, let me pause it right there. I mean, yeah. Because, he was getting a lot of shit because, and it's still weird to me that the WBA put up their super title, the WBA title, at heavyweight up for Joshua versus Klitschko. A vacant title, was a unification fight was for a vacant title, but he didn't beat a champion. So that's not his fault. But now, he's beat a champion in Joseph Parker. Now, of course, as I said before, we're not always going to agree. And I get a lot of shit from people in the UK because I'm critical of Joshua. I'm critical of all fighters. I talk about the good and the bad. That's how I got here. I don't have nothing against Anthony Joshua, but right now he is number one. And I have questions, and it's not because I'm a goddamn Yank. It's not because I'm American. I have questions on if he can beat Deontay Wilder. That Deontay Wilder shit wild. Do you want to get hit with that shit? It'd be everywhere. He bionic now. He got that fucking plates and shit all in his hand. Yeah, he looked a little vulnerable against Luis Ortiz. By the way, I didn't see the fight until a month later. Long story. No, less than a month later, something like that. But anyway, it's looking like right now the fight is not going to be made, him and Wilder, unless some type of crazy agreement happens because the promoter. Before I get into that, I'll save what I was going to talk about for my next video on this subject because I haven't seen the Povetkin versus Price fight yet. I don't know who won. So my sleeping schedule was all, messed up. So I had to take a little quick power nap before this card came on. So I just watched this fight and not the undercard. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is from the plans that Eddie Hearn has been saying, and we're going to hear from him in a few. It seems as though they want Alexander Povetkin next. Alexander Povetkin is backed by a billionaire promoter, and I just was thinking to myself, and a lot of hardcore boxing fans and people who follow the sport on the business end, would understand that Alexander Povetkin does real big numbers in Russia, and that billionaire promoter that he's with or promotional company, I think that the guy Rabinsky stepped back as his company, but he's not fully in charge of everything, even though he owns everything. He's an advisor or something. I don't know if they went through with that, but anyway, I'm thinking that he wouldn't be on nobody's undercard unless him and Eddie Hearn had some type of talk. You see what I'm saying? It's all right, if you get on the undercard, I'm gonna guarantee you a shot. You see what I'm saying? Because Alexander Povetkin is not the type to fight on anybody undercards, Now, of course, with the questionable history of PD allegations and all that, fans still, don't want to forgive him. Without looking at the facts of the situation, do you know Deontay Wilder, from my understanding, is still yet to be paid? Because why? Because there was an appeal. And also when he allegedly was juicing using the meldonium, at that point in time, it wasn't enough statistical data that VADA and the WBC had to understand how long it would take for that drug to get out of your system. And also, it was a newly banned drug at the time, so it wasn't enough data. But, that's way too deep down the rabbit hole. The point I'm trying to make is it doesn't seem like Wilder versus Joshua. Oh, whoa. Joshua versus Wilder is going to happen this year. It doesn't seem like it. You have Lou DiBella even backing down. I saw some interview he did somewhere I read or something. I don't remember. It was this week, where he was saying basically, that he don't see it happening this year. Now, Eddie Hearn would love for Dylan White to fight Deontay Wilder because he may feel that if Dylan White gets the title, that Joshua versus Dylan White is a bigger fight. Like the rematch, and then Dylan White has a title. And also, Dylan White is very close to being a mandatory. But guess what? Deontay Wilder just fought his mandatory. If he fought a mandatory, and what was Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz wasn't a mandatory, but he was ranked very high. Stavern was the mandatory. So basically, what? He probably don't have another mandatory, until November or something like that. So he can fight who he wants. And we know that he likes to use those voluntaries up. But Dylan White is likely going to have to fight Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale is an Al Haymon fighter. Al Haymon is likely not going to allow Dominic Breazeale to turn down the Dylan White fight, because if Dominic Breazeale says, no, I'm not going to fight Dylan White, I don't want to fight him, I got, other plans, then the WBC will elevate, or they usually do, will likely elevate Dylan White to be the mandatory. You see what I'm saying? But once again, that's some more information that's too deep down the rabbit hole. I just want you to understand that it's kind of, easy to see what Eddie Hearn's plan is. It just seems so blatant. And when you look at a guy like Deontay Wilder, who is he going to fight next? You got Adam Kownacki, and he could go the Dominic Breazeale fight route. But then after that, by November or so, Dylan White will be his mandatory. If Dylan White wins one more fight, or what? Let's finish listening to Anthony Joshua.
Disputed heavyweight champion of the world.
100.
You know what that means, though, don't you? That means that you would have to face WBC king Deontay Wilder.
You're asking me, do I want to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? IBO, WBO, IBF, WBA. 21 professional fights, 6 world championship fights. Does that not show you what route I'm going in? Forget the hype. I'm not into that. Everyone here knows me better than that. I'm not into the hype. I'm about business. So let's get the business done. And now I've got the time. If it takes my trainer, Eddie Hearn, sitting down and discussing plans with Al Haymon, Shirley, and seeing what the future holds.
Al Haymon is the controller of Deontay Wilder's career. Shirley Finkel is the manager, very close friends with Al Haymon, and heavily rumored, to be one of the reasons, or one of the extensions to why Al Haymon got into boxing. I will show a clip of him saying, basically, at the Wilder versus Stavern 2 post-fight press conference, I was there, and they were talking about, basically, that they were in discussions for Deontay Wilder to fight Dylan White. Despite what you was hearing about Deontay Wilder pricing himself out, understand that it's Al Haymon and Shirley Finkel that are pulling the strings. These fighters have been known throughout history to say whatever they want in the media, but the people who are controlling them in regards to their promoters, i.e. managers or advisors, then they're the ones who's pulling the strings. A fighter can go out there and say, man, I want a 70-30 split. But it's the managers, the promoters, and all those guys, in the back negotiating that shit. A fighter can say, yeah, 80-20, But I forgot what my point was. Oh, I was talking about like how that Shirley Finkel had said that they were in dialogue with Eddie Hearn, and that when the Kubrat Pulev fight fell through for Joshua and he fought Takam, basically the dialogue ended. So the dialogue was that Deontay Wilder was going to fight Dylan White as long as it guaranteed Anthony Joshua. You see what I'm saying? Let's finish listening to him.
Ever, whenever.
So you want that fight with Deontay Wilder. We know that he's watching on our colleagues at Showtime tonight in the United States. So what would your message be to him?
Just like Dylan said, Wilder, let's go, baby! Let's go!
Here, you know what? I can do this. Let's see. This is what Wilder had to say.
The public, in the public. Of course, I want Joshua to fight. He knows.
Hold on.
No matter what they say, no matter what his promoters say, you can't bullshit the public any more longer. I want to fight. Let's make the fight happen. Stop making these excuses. Stop. Bullshitting the fans over there, because we on point right here. We want that smoke. You said if I want it, If the fans wanted it, you wanted it. I wanted it. You said, I want it. You said if I want that work, I can get that work. Well, Joshua, I've been clocked in. I'm well overtime now, baby. I can share a little overtime now. Let's make this fight happen, man, and stop lying to the people. We want to fight. Let's make it happen. It's easy. This is a simple fight to make happen. It's easy. Let's make it happen. Once and for all, see who's the best.
I mean, also understand. Well, wait, whoa. Let's go back here. We don't want to get in trouble. We're waiting for some sensitive information back from Sky. So in the meantime, we got to play it safe.
See, Dylan White is laughing down there for everybody that's wondering.
He knows. On this side of the pond, we're serious. Do you know what I mean? UK, Great Britain boxing is on the map, and we are represented. Not just myself. We've got all the undercard fighters, all the other heavyweight contenders, down to the lower weights. We are all representing. So you know we're dead serious and we're about our business.
If you don't mind, I will come back to you. We just want to get a word with Joseph Parker before he leaves. Joseph.
He was very humble in defeat.
Don't want to wait too long. Just word
classy
tonight on your performance and the result.
Today I got beaten by a better champion, bigger man. A lot to work on. You know, it's a good experience being here. Thank you all for the opportunity to find this big stadium. We want to go back, train hard, plan again, and come back stronger.
Any regrets at all?
No regrets. You know, take it on the chin. Better man on the day. So we'll be back again.
If you did have the opportunity again, what do you think that you would do differently?
Work harder, come back stronger, more punches. But I would love to have another go. Just back to the drawing board.
I think there was probably frustrations on both sides with the fact that the referee perhaps didn't let either of you work on the inside. Is that the case at all?
Yeah, no, we could have worked on the inside more, but you know, whatever happened here happened. We can't change it. So we just got to look forward.
You believe you can become world champion again?
Of course. I'm young, fit, strong. I didn't go down. I'm fit to go 12 rounds. And I just want to say thank you to all the New Zealanders and Samoans for being here. Thank you to everyone back home in New Zealand and Samoa. Thank you for the support. We'll be back again stronger.
Well said. A word on Anthony Joshua. How good is he?
He's good. He's a good big man. And like I said, he was better on the day, but I'll be back.
Thank you and well said. Let's just get back to Anthony Joshua. Anthony. You hold them, Rob. Anthony, back to you.
Sneaky.
Yeah. 21 fights. So you still...
This was a long post-fight interview. My God. We're going to have to end this. Let me see if I can get the Eddie Hearn's part. I'm sorry, AJ. I haven't heard what Eddie Hearn had to say.
Thank you very much. Promoter Eddie Hearn, how realistic
is what
Anthony
comes.
Joshua's just told us there?
It's realistic from our side. He's had 21 fights. He's got 4 belts. Deontay Wilder was supposed to be here tonight, but he pulled out. Last fight, he boxed in front of about 6,000, 7,000. Showed Deontay Wilder what 80,000 sounds like.
Can you sit down and do serious negotiations with him and his team?
Andy, they don't want it. They've never approached us. He's here. He fights all the champions. He wins all the belts. At 22 fights, he has a chance to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Don't forget how fast he's moving. Deontay Wilder's people don't contact us. They don't want to know. He talks the talk. He can't walk the walk. And if AJ says if he wants to come here, he'll get knocked spark out.
And you want to do it here?
We'll do it anywhere. But listen, have you seen where he boxes? He boxes in some great venues with no one there. Look at what we're doing over here. Look at what Anthony Joshua is doing. Deontay Wilder will be watching right now. And this is called a show. This is called a crowd. He will not beat AJ and these people.
Thank you.
He talking some big shit.
Both Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder will be able to walk it like they talk it as again.
He was talking some gangster shit, but we gotta wrap up the show. You know, what's this about? You know, Deontay Wilder and his team not contacting them. Are they just talking in the media? Are they not ready to come to the table? Is Al Heyman not ready to come to the table? What's going on? On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. We're easing back into things, you know. Can't just be sitting around all day. You know, that's just never been me. But in the meantime, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.